What's going on, Road Trippers? Road Trip Nate here. Once again, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, as the caption stated, we're doing my top 5 things I liked and did not like about the remake, Red Dawn. Great movie. I love this movie. I've never seen the original. I want to see the original, but I've never seen it. So as I've stated, we're going to talk about top 5 likes and dislikes about this movie. The remake. So let's get in there and do this top 5 likes and dislikes. Number 5 of things I liked about it, they built up an army. They went from these high school kids that had like maybe a couple people fighting with them to eventually at the end of the movie, they had an army to fight back against the North Koreans that had invaded America, which I liked because it went from a subtle buildup to at the end of the movie it was America taking their country back, which what we what we would do. We would take our country back if somebody invaded us. Number 4, they had great actors. Uh, Thor, uh, Chris Hemsworth, Josh Peck. They had some good actors in this movie. That's one reason I liked it because they had some good actors. Uh, Number 3, hang on just a minute. Watching Trailer Park Boys, my TV player shut off. And number 3, America would fight back. If there's anything else I know about the American spirit, we will fight back against an enemy invasion, no matter what. That's what the movie shows, is that Americans will fight back. It's not hard to understand. Number 2, anybody that invades this country would target small towns like they did in the movie. Just because they're small towns, which is the least best choice for an invading country to invade would be a small town. Because you have Americans love guns. Small town Americans have a lot of guns. So why would a country invade America, invade a small town? I do not know. Because that is the least the, the worst choice you could make is invading a small town because the small town Americans have a lot of guns. And as shown in the movie, do not invade a small town if you're an invading country. But number 1 of the best reasons why this movie is a great movie, in my opinion, country could actually do this to us. Now, I'm not saying it'll ever happen. I don't think it'll ever happen in real life, but based on what the movie showed, some countries that actually wanted to, they could do that. I mean, if they had the insight and the technology, yeah, they could drop 1 million people in and try to take us over. I mean, I could see it happening, but as I have stated, um, Americans would not stand for it. We would fight back. But I could see a country having that kind of intelligence and that kind of intellect. They could do that. I mean, it's not that hard to do that to another country. Just drop in without anybody detecting you and take it over. But I don't think it will happen. I don't. I don't. I don't foresee America being taken over by any country, no matter what. But it made for a great movie about Americans fighting back against a country uh, taking over our homeland. Now that we got the good out of the way, let's get to the top five things I did not like about Red Dawn, the remake. Number five, on my dislikes of the movie, they were high school kids. They, yeah, they could not possibly pull a whole coup off. Not high school kids. They could not form an army. A bunch of high school kids just playing in the local football game just day earlier could not eventually form a formidable army and to a country that's trying to conquer us. That wouldn't happen. Uh, Number four, America would be cyberhacked, not invaded. Uh, as what's being going around now is that there's Russian hackers that are hacking into our internet here in America. America would not be taken over by people on in parachutes flying in, 1 million people parachuting in. We would be cyber hacked first to have our everything shut down because we are too dependent on technology as it is. So that's how we would be taken over. We would be cyber hacked. We would not be invaded physically at first. That's one thing I think the movie should have changed. Our internet and communication systems would have been hacked into first. Number three, it's not accurate. As I've stated, we would have known about an invasion. We would have not woken up to 1 million people parachuting from planes to invade us. It would not have just happened just like that. We would have known about it. The movie is not accurate. High school students would not be able to take on an army. We would have not been invaded from the sky. Nothing like that would have happened in real life. That's why the movie is not accurate. Number two, it's a remake. I've never seen, as I've stated, I've never seen the original that has Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen. I've never seen the original, but I always know that remakes are never as good as the original. The original is always better. So I have always wanted to see the original Red Dawn. That's one thing I did not like about the movie is that it's a remake because remakes are never as good as the original. Even though this was a decent movie, it was still more than likely not as good as the original. But number one, the main uh, the country that invaded us was North Korea. I know from the original movie it was the Soviet Union that invaded us. I could see that potentially happening back when it was the Cold War and everything back in the 70s and 80s. I could not see North Korea invading us. That is why I do not see this movie as being entirely plausible because it was North Korea. I don't see North Korea doing that. But that is my top five likes and dislikes of Red Dawn the remake. If you're new here, please feel free to hit that subscribe button after the video to stay notified on the current and future whereabouts. And as always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Let me know if you care. As always, you can visit my Patreon page, patreon.com/RoadTripNate. Feel like donating to this channel, every little bit helps and it's always much appreciated. But if not, hopefully you enjoyed this video and the minutes that are to come. This is Road Trip Next saying, one of these days I will watch Red Dawn, the original movie. But until then, you got this movie, the remake of Red Dawn, which is a good movie. I give it a 85, score of 85. It had some good actors. It was a good plot. It would have been better had maybe been China that had tried to invade us because that I could more realistically see with China, not North Korea. I mean, it would have been it would have been just the same if they would have had maybe Cuba trying to invade us. But it was a good movie. Every time I watched it a couple of times just because it's so action packed from beginning to end. It's like I miss stuff watching it. It's like I'm already at the end by the time I realize it. I'm like, crap, I missed some stuff. That's gonna do it for today. Let's get it to 15 minutes. This live stream. We got 20 seconds left. Tomorrow, I don't know. I may do The Purge. I've got a few other movie ideas I may want to do. But until next time, road trippers, this live stream is over.